Alright, let's chat about one current problem in the game. Tier 5 class catalyst. What the heck is this, man? I have to sell tier 4 class catalyst just to get enough for a tier 5 class catalyst. Like, this is unrelated to the video, but still, it's so annoying. And yeah, I feel like tier 6 CC is easier than tier 5 CC right now, like easier to get, which is insane because yeah, it's like a whole level lower than like the tier 6 class catalyst. But yeah, that's just my quick little mini rant. Here's the actual video. Here's a Dragon Man rank up. Now I had a few options and I had a few meta options at that, right? I had Tigra, I had Kindred, I had like Mephisto even, but you know, after making that special 1000th video, I was just thinking to myself, hey, it's been a while since I've like done a fun rank up, right? Because I've been so focused on like battlegrounds that I haven't really given time to like the fun rank ups that, you know, my channel was kind of built off of. So yeah, in this video, I'm going back to my roots. I am taking up a fun character because I'll be honest, I think that like doing only meta rank ups and like not doing who you actually want to take up, it's just a one-way ticket to like burnout and just not wanting to play the game. Because yeah, where's the fun in that, right? Like, that's just my opinion on it though. Like, I know winning battlegrounds and stuff is fun, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's good to treat yourself like every so often, and I am doing that with this rank up. And even then, Dragon Man honestly pretty good in battlegrounds too, to be honest, because what the heck is this? You're gonna see in a second here, but yeah, we're gonna go in against this Hulkling and it's gonna go kind of crazy, like, because check this out, he's gonna drop the SP2 eventually. Yeah, there he drops it, which is perfect. We go back in here, drop our own SP2, and look at this damage output. It's honestly pretty dang nice. I go back in here, drop the SP1, and then after this we're gonna go for our relic hit. I am now fully unblockable, so he can't block that relic hit at all. Then I drop the heavy attack, and that's it. That's 35 seconds right there for like a rank 4 ascended Hulkling. Not bad in the slightest. And just like for good measure, I'm gonna test against the Gladiator circuit meta because this one is super annoying. Basically, for each buff on the opponent, they just fail your abilities on like the defensive end, so like parry for example, and there's also footloose. So yeah, pretty annoying node set. However, Dragon Man, he just doesn't care. He is just walloping this Hulkling right now. Honestly, just super satisfying. And here I go back in, drop the SP2, and this is just incredible. There I mess up and get hit. I should have just dropped the SP1 immediately, but I didn't, so I'm a muppet for that. However, we're still chilling. We're still doing pretty dang good as well here. I drop the heavy attack into the SP1, and this just does it. So that was like 45 seconds. I did mess up there, but it is what it is. Still pretty dang fast, you know, especially with like Hulkling being like one of the best defenders in that meta. Yeah, that's honestly really good. But yeah, now we have just a quick damage test here because let's just chill out for a bit, right? I just said that I don't want to do battlegrounds rank ups, and then I show some battlegrounds gameplay, which is kind of funny. But like, to be fair, I think battlegrounds content is like, you know, the peak right now. So yeah, it is what it is. But here I drop an SP3, and you like, do you notice the fact that like the cornered passive is just giving her 0 power when she's like above 2 bars? That is very good for Dragon Man's playstyle because he is just all about aggression, and since he has that like power rate reduction, it's honestly just so helpful and just super satisfying too. Like, this character, I took him up because he's just super fun to play, you know, like very fun to play. Here I dropped the SP2, dropped a combo because we're unblockable into the relic hit, and yeah, the detonation just closes out the fight. Very good stuff there. That was like, what, sub 1 minute. And for some fun here, I'm gonna just put on full synergies, put on a pre-fight, and if you want to see like a full video with like Dragon Man with like full synergies and full boosters, then let me know and I'll gladly do it because yeah, he's super fun. I think he's also like fun to watch as well, but that might just be me, I don't know. But yeah, Dragon Man, just super satisfying. And he's like a dragon, right? How cool is that? Like, most characters in this game aren't dragons, so that's already like a massive advantage over most characters in MCOC. So yeah, that's like one reason why he's a good rank up in my opinion, because he is a literal dragon. Well, he's not a literal dragon, he is a robot dragon, so that's even cooler, to be honest, in my opinion at least. But yeah, look at those nice crits right there. 24,000 crit and then a 140,000 detonation. And yeah, that Kitty Pryde synergy that like gives him the double incinerate, it's honestly just so insane for him. But now we have this Eternity of Pain Dormammu fight, and this is a good showcase of his slow. Now, I am like cheating a bit with the power gain because we get some bonus power gain from the node, but then after this one time I don't use it anymore. I promise, I don't use it anymore. So yeah, this is just Dragon Man's pure power gain, and he is a beast because like look at the control here. Dormammu is just completely cornered, he can't do anything about it, and he's also slowed. And yeah, this fight is honestly a bit of a joke with Dragon Man. Just one of the better options for it, 100%. We go back in here, drop another SP1, and yeah, Dormammu is just not gaining that much power either because of the cornered ability. So just super satisfying, to be honest, and we're still just going in, and he can't do anything about it. So yeah, super satisfying, really fun stuff. Here I drop the relic and I go back in again, drop a combo into the SP1, and we are chilling because he is now slowed once more, which means there's no unstoppable, there's nothing to worry about here. Just Dragon Man things. Honestly, his slow is so underrated, and it's so undervalued as well because the duration doesn't seem like all that, but then you like factor in the power gain as well, and it's like, oh wait, it's honestly not that bad because he can maintain it since his power gain is just that good as well. So yeah, I think it's honestly pretty sweet, and he is just controlling the heck out of this guy. It is so satisfying. Then we go back in again, and this just about does it. Very fun fight there. Of course, took some damage because Dormammu is just Dormammu with like the degen and all that, but it's fine. But now we have this Sunspot matchup. This one's pretty cool because this is an Incinerate immune champion, and Dragon Man, you could argue that like his main damage source is the Incinerate burst, but this kind of proves otherwise because we're going to use the cornered mechanic to do all of our damage essentially, and it works just fine because the cornered mechanic is honestly pretty sweet, and it accounts for like a good chunk of his damage output, to be honest. Like that one heavy attack burst is very nice for sure, but like the majority damage is the cornered, I want to say, because it's like pretty much always there and it's always helpful. And because Sunspot has an armor up buff, we do increase corner damage too. So yeah, here I drop an SP2 in a second, and it's gonna do some pretty great damage output because of the cornered ability. And yeah, no incinerates, but it doesn't matter because we still have our Fury up, we have our corner damage at the ready, we drop another SP2, and yeah, a nice burst of damage there, a nice little crit there too, and we're just chilling, to be honest. The corner damage is just doing its job very well. We go back in here, drop a combo into the SP2 again, nice 12,000 medium crits, and yeah, that does it. Honestly, very good for an Incinerate immune fight. So don't underestimate Dragon Man when there's Incinerate immune characters, because he still works pretty dang well, to be honest. And now we have this Wolverine fight. This is on the Rage 1.5 node, so yeah, our heavy attack is once again gimped. Do we care? No, because of the cornered damage output. I'm telling you, it's just really good stuff, and it can honestly make Dragon Man not even need the SP2, to be honest. But you do want the SP2 still because of the Fury buff. That is honestly pretty massive for him. But like the Incinerates, they're replaceable, right? But yeah, here we go back in. And yeah, it's time for the first SP2 now, and it does pretty good damage because, yeah, the cornered is just carrying us, to be honest. And yeah, he's unblockable now. And what's the best way to counter unblockable? With your own unblockable, pretty much, is what Dragon Man would say at least. So yeah, I drop another SP2, we're unblockable, so I drop the relic into the heavy attack, which does, you know, reduce damage, but it doesn't matter because we're unblockable, and yeah, just so fun, just so satisfying with that unblockable. And like the unblockable is just so useful as well, right? Like at base, because it bypasses auto block. If the opponents have 3 bars of power, you can just still hit them without them throwing a special attack, because your unblockable hit is so fast to the point where like the opponent just can't throw their SP3 because their reaction time isn't that good enough yet. So yeah, unblockable characters, honestly, just massive W's, because they just bypass a ton of stuff really, and it's so satisfying. So that's why I think Dragon Man is just such a beast, because yeah, that unblockable, you're gonna see later on, it's just so helpful. And yeah, this Shang-Chi fight, no big deal, we drop the SP2 and it does pretty good damage, but now he's cornered, so this is the real damage output, and he drops the SP2, that's fine. We go in and drop our own SP2 again, and this fight is pretty much wrapped up, not like completely, but you know, essentially, yeah, because we drop the relic, we go back in with the heavy attack, and we're just chilling. Look at this damage output right here. It is so satisfying, and yeah, that headbutt just ends the fight. Super clean stuff there. And speaking of the SP3 thing that I said, where like the unblockable kind of just bypasses it, check this out. This is America Chavez, and this fight goes south pretty quickly. Or not quickly, but it eventually goes very south. So this is an auto block lane, right? And Dragon Man has unblockable, so he's gonna counter it very well. He can do a full 5-hit combo while unblockable, which is honestly pretty dang massive. And here I drop the SP3, and then here's where things start to go kind of south. So yeah, she's now cornered, which is perfect, and then here I kind of mess up. I let her drop a heavy attack, and that gimps our power gain big time. And now I was like, okay, if she drops the SP2, she's gonna go unblockable, right? So I don't want that, so I'm just gonna go in here, drop my own SP2, and yeah, we're gonna maintain the unblockable, so that's good at least. And we go back in again, drop the SP1, and yeah, honestly just a super silly matchup. And by the way, this has incinerate vulnerability, so that's the only reason why I was able to do this. Honestly, without it, I would have been pretty much done for. But yeah, that was still really fun, really satisfying, and it like goes to show how, you know, if they have 3 bars of power, it doesn't necessarily matter. Like, of course an SP3 is still an SP3, right? But Dragon Man can like, he can hold off for a bit, and that's the important part. Like, he's pretty good at making sure that like the opponent doesn't like drop the SP3 immediately, right? Because of the unblockable. And yeah, it's honestly just super helpful. But yeah, here I drop an SP3 myself, and yeah, he's cornered, we're chilling, and then he starts to get a bit passive, and when Hyperion does that, it's honestly kind of scary. I'll be completely honest. And yeah, thankfully he drops the SP2, which is perfect for us. I go back in here, drop my own SP2, and yeah, things are looking pretty good for us now. I try to slow play it here. I drop an SP2 again, and yeah, he's at 3 bars of power, but I don't care because I dropped the relic now, and he can't block it because unblockable, and there you go. Dragon Man just doing Dragon Man things. It's so satisfying. And to close out this video, I have this Gauntlet Dr. Doom fight. This is like an endurance test for Dragon Man because our damage output is going to be completely reliant on burst damage. So like the corner damage, the SP2 burst, because you can't crit Dr. Doom, so like that's out of the picture. And he also has massive armor rating, so like our basic non-crits just do pretty much nothing. So yeah, it's it's going to be a tough battle, right? But Dragon Man, I have faith in him. He's got this. So here is like the first SP3, and of course he drops the SP1, so I can't do anything here because if I try to do something, he can just like nullify my power game buffs, and then yeah, I'm done for. So gotta watch out for that. That's like the one hard part about this matchup, but otherwise it's not too bad in the slightest. And yeah, I dropped my first SP2, does some pretty good damage, and he drops his own SP2, and we get the Dex, not too shabby. And yeah, now it's time for the second SP2 in a bit here. So honestly, so far so good. The damage output is honestly pretty nice whenever he is cornered, and we just get that lucky hit right there too. We get the burst damage right there, and things are just going pretty nicely for Dragon Man here. And instead of dropping another SP2 to like consume all power charges, I'm gonna let that last power charge build up to my next SP3 and just keep that cycle going for a bit. So that was a game plan, and it honestly goes pretty well because yeah, this fight is honestly a pretty good one in the end. And it's time for the next SP2, so I just slow play it here, drop it in a second, about the heavy attack, and then I go in. That was honestly pretty close. I don't know why I like played it that like close, but it is what it is. We got it down, and that's all that matters. So yeah, here I drop another SP2, and it does once again pretty good damage. And then we do the heavy attack burst, and there we go. That's like where all the sauce is at. And then he drops the SP1, and that is just a massive momentum shift because, yeah, I had all the momentum in the world right there, but then I have to wait 6 seconds for him to just, like, not nullify me. So that's super annoying, but it's fine because we're going to drop another SP3, and this last cycle should do it. All in all, just a very fun fight so far. Dr. Doom is kind of getting crushed by that corner damage, and yeah, that corner damage is just so clutch. Like, it helps versus damage caps, versus crit res, versus like incinerate immune champions too even. It just helps for like so many different things, and it's just so useful. But yeah, here I drop another SP2, and we are so close to finishing this fight. We're almost there. Drop the unblockable, and go back in, drop the heavy attack into another SP2, and this should do it, I think. Yeah, there we go. Pretty much. After that hit. And that was not too bad in the slightest, man. That was 251 for Gauntlet Dr. Doom. That is not bad at all. But yeah, Dragon Man, honestly just a very cool character. He is a dragon robot. How insane is that? Like, you gotta appreciate that at least, right? But honestly, just a super fun champion to play. Honestly, pretty useful still with like his very niche utility. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Dragon Man, and yes, about it for me.